Okay, so we continue on with our side control. Last video we talked about how to go to mount whenever you can connect the bicep to the ear. This time we're going to look at a different way to go to mount. Okay, so if you put your head here and your feet that direction, great. So we start in our basic cross-face underhook, okay? But, you know, let's say he's framing with his elbow, all this kind of stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go cross-body side control. So my arm that's a cross-face is going to go, and this is a very important detail, I need to shelf his arm, okay? Because a lot of times what people do is they come here and they're not really shelving the arm. I want to try and get my elbow connected to his elbow, okay? Now it's not perfectly connected, but at least I've shelved his arm. So if he tries to bring his arm to the mat, he can't. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my hips facing his feet. Now, sometimes when you turn, you're going to land on the arm. Sometimes that, you know, hurts people when they stretch their arm. Otherwise, use your hand, walk your hips forward in front of his elbow, that's underneath my hips, and then use this pry to pry his arm back, and so you can see his left arm is up like this now, okay? Now my feet, I want my feet, okay, like a kickstand here. I don't want to be laying down. I want my feet like a kickstand, because sometimes what people are going to do is going to push your chin and try and bridge and take you over like this. But so if you're laying down next to him, or if you're by his hips, then it's easy for people to do that. That's why we scraped back, and I use my top leg as a kickstand. Notice how my foot is behind my bottom. Now, we looked at two ways to mount. My team is going to keeping his knees up. The first way we looked is just our pitter patter. So I pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter, and I find the timing to step my leg over and pinch the heel. And then now look, my hand, similar to how we did before, my hand comes up and collects the arm. Okay, because I don't want him to push my knee, elbow escape, so it collects the arm, and now I can start attacking. Okay, so that's easy. Let's do that one more time, and then let's go to the second option. So again, I shelf, I turn, and I use my hip to pry his arm up to his head, and I use my kickstand so that I don't get rolled over. Now, sometimes what people do is they are really good with their legs, they're tucking in, so I can't even pitter patter. So in this case, what I do is I create almost like a knee on belly, but with my forearm, I create a wedge, and just bring your legs down for a second. I connect my knee to my elbow. So his legs were up. I have this wedge, I connect my knee to my elbow. Now I don't disconnect this knee to elbow position. In other words, whenever I slide my arm across, I follow it with my knee. So his knee is up. As I slide my arm across, look, I follow it with my knee. Now the goal here, okay, the goal here is to touch the top of my foot to his body. Okay, so don't shortchange yourself. Okay, so the goal, as he brings his legs up, the goal here is to slide all the way forward so that the top of my foot is connected to his body. Now, as I slide, sometimes what they're gonna do is gonna try and push my knee, okay? So as I slide, I catch his arm. If he tries to bring it down, look, I catch his arm and I extend, okay? And then make sure that your foot doesn't drag over his legs, because that means he's gonna trap you in quarter guard. Okay, go back. So what do? Bring your knees up. I sprawl, just like we did before. I sprawl, and then I pop my knee up to my elbow as fast as I can. Boom. And that's how I take the mount. Okay? So we're going from mount, from side control, but we're going cross body, side control, facing the feet.